No one talks about how painful it is when you deliver a flawless presentation. You had your data, your deck was clean, but after you finished, you were met with silence, no feedback, not even questions. All you got was the passive aggressive smile. Hmm, thanks. We'll get back to you. Huh?
Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye.
If you can relate to that, believe you me, I was also in the same position. And at that time, I was left confused. What did I do wrong? And later I got to realize that, I decoded the problem, but not the culture. Hey, my corporate besties, welcome to the corporate parable where biblical wisdom meets boardroom reality. And welcome to our YouTube channel. If this is your first time on our YouTube channel, you're highly welcome. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click on your notification button so that for every time we upload a video, you get notified. So we're running on a series, and our first series is your first 60 days. Last week we had a discussion around being the Daniel of your workplace, and one of the blueprints we spoke about was observe before you offer, right? And today our episode 2 of our series is decode before you deliver. Decode the culture before you deliver. So let's circle back. I know. If you don't get it, forget about it.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
So let's rewind back to 2000 years ago again, and this time around, Paul is going to be our character study. So I'm sure you're wondering, so who is Paul? Or who was Paul? Paul was formerly called Saul, and he was overzealous persecuting the Christians. But then God arrested him and found him, and then he got converted to Paul so that he can use the zealousness for the gospel. So in the life of Paul had gone and had toured different cities. He had gone to city after city, and this time around he found himself in this city called Athens. And by the time he got to Athens is a peculiar city because it was a city that was full of intellectuals. They had people that were worshiping different kinds of gods. They had professors that were even at some point you see them arguing about on the streets. They were known for this ancient intellectual city as at then. And when Paul got into that city, unlike Paul this time around, he didn't just come at them with, oh, I want to preach, or I want to tell you about God, or you're serving the wrong God, or come, let me show you what I know. No, he didn't do that. What Paul did, which was a very, very strategic move, was that he observed the culture. When he got into the city, one of the things he did was he walked around. He looked around the city and he was talking to the people, trying to speak to them, understand their culture, their ways of how they did things in the city. And as at the time, while he was doing all of the looking and observing and asking the right questions, he came across an inscription that said, "To an unknown God." Which brings us to Acts chapter 17, verse 23. And I found an altar to an unknown God. What makes you think Paul said, I found? Do you think he actually just sat down and then the thing came looking for him? No, that was in the process of when he was observing and looking around, and then he found that inscription that said, "To an unknown God." It was after on and later on that then he got their attention and then went ahead to preach the gospel. But what are we driving at for? For what Paul did was the fact that he didn't just make the move instantly. He had to get the dynamics of the culture and the system before even going at them. And even he went with them with their own words, not with his own words or what he felt like, oh, this is what I know. Now, let's look at it in our corporate world and our workplace today. You are this newbie and then you just joined this company, and in your first 60 days, do you know it's not all about learning the systems, but it's about learning the culture. And do you know that there are some cultures that are actually not written? Yeah, you have to figure it out. And those cultures are literally found either in the hallway conversations, in the little coffee chart, or even in meetings. And then you realize that, oh, is it a place where they like to say, let's circle back, that kind of thing. But most of the times the cultures are not written. You have to figure that out. And how do you do that? You have to observe, you have to ask the right questions, and you just have to navigate your way around the system. So today we're going to go ahead and be discussing the frameworks that can help you and guide you in your first 60 days. Honestly, I'm not just saying it because I'm saying it, and I'm saying it because I've experienced it. I've made the mistakes, I've made the correction. Some I made mistakes, some I didn't make mistakes, but I learned through someone else. But that's why we're talking about it today, so that you get it right at the first time. I'll just give you an example before we get into the framework. When I started this new job in my first 60 days, I was asked to do something more like a very, very brief. This is aside the actual presentation I was telling you about, though. Very brief presentation, and how I can talk to the team on how we can change one or two things and all of that. That kind of thing. You're fresh and new. How can we make things easier? And I prepared. But then after that presentation, after I spoke to my team members, the whole thing was flat. It was literally flat. And not because I did something wrong, or not because what I did, I didn't get it right, literally. But I hadn't bought their trust for them to be able to say, okay, let's give it a try, right? I just joined the team. You can imagine, that kind of thing. You just came to the team and already you want us to do this, that. So yeah, those were one of the mistakes I made. So back to the framework. The first thing is listen first. Listen first. Do you know, that sounds trivial, but it's very important. When you get to a place, I know you know how to talk. I know you have suggestions and opinions, but please listen. Listen first, because there are some cultures and some environments where they prefer silence, right? Or is it a place where they like you to engage more, but you need to get the balance and understand which is which? Is it a place where you send that email all the time, or just ping me through Teams? That should be fine. That kind of thing. Is it a place where how do they reward people based on deliverables? Or have you noticed that in a meeting someone is that loud? So those little things, but you have to listen first to be able to pick out those things. You don't want to be the person that they look and they say, who is this one, over sabi? You that just came. Over sabi means you're doing too much. I too know. You that just came, you want to do this, do that. I know you know, but hold up.
God have mercy upon us.
Yeah. Number 2 is spot the unspoken rules. Let me give you a story. When I joined this team, I joined this company in my first 60 days. So previously, where I was coming from, there's a way you would usually book your annual leave. I booked my annual leave, I put in my calendar, but as I'm putting it in my calendar, I'm also adding my line manager to my calendar, I'm adding like maybe three other of my team members. Maybe we're just a small team, so add all of them so that it's all reflected in their calendar for them to know that okay, on so date, Gayok is on annual leave, right? I took that mentality. I brought it to my new place, and first time I wanted to go on annual leave, and I put in my calendar, copied my line manager, copied other of my team members. Like that's what I knew, right? I didn't even wait to observe or even ask questions on how things are done. And by the time I sent the invite, some were okay with it and accepted. But one particular person sent me a message. I'm like, why did you send us invites? Like, you don't have to invite us that or say, even if you just say verbally that, oh, I'm not going to be around, just put in your calendar, it's fine. And I'm like, okay. I was met with that cultural shock. Yes. So that's what it means to when I say spot the unspoken rules, because not all rules are written in your onboarding pack. Honestly, those unspoken rules, they are not written down, but you literally have to figure it out. Yes. Don't be like me. Make sure you ask the right question. Make sure you ask the right question and spot that unspoken rules. And number 3 is find the traditional translators. You might be wondering, Gayo, what do you mean by traditional translators? I know. So, do you know that there are specific people when you join a company that they've been there for longer than you think, or even older than you, if you're a Gen Z? Yes, maybe people that are like 35 years in the company, 20 years in the company, 25 years. Those are your cultural translators. Do you know why? They are your go-to person. They know the why and the how of how things are done. Yes. So in case you're wondering, or you have questions, or you don't even know who the right person to meet, just find out that one person that's been there longer than you think. And for this one, I didn't make mistake, because by the time, I think I learned from my previous experience, and by the time I joined this company, I just needed to find out who is that person. And you find out from conversations when you're having those little chats or those coffee chats. You're going to find out, because you're obviously going to be talking about where you're coming from, and then also want to know how it has been for them, how long they've been in the company, and whatnot, right? So that's how you get to find those people. In my case, I found that person, and she was literally in my corner, because, and me, I asked questions. I asked her, but it helps me, and it's going to help you, because it helped me navigate my way around in my first 60 days quite easily, because I had that one person in my corner. So yes, that would help you if you find that cultural translator. It will go a long way. The fourth one is mirror before you lead. I know that you're excited, you're full of enthusiasm, and like, oh, I'm just in this company, I want to shift the culture, Did you notice that even when Paul had gone into that city, he did not come at them with fire in the sense that this is what I have to give to you, listen to me. No, he didn't do that. He had the intention of doing that, but he had to buy their trust. He had to observe, he had to ask the right question and plot his graph strategically. So you don't even have to compromise. That's not it at all. You don't have to say, all you have to do is honestly understand the process on how things are done, understand the format, get into it, let them, in fact, even see you as someone that is different and all of that, but you have to be in it. It's like you're in the world but not of the world, right? But then before you buy their trust, or before you lead and shift the culture, You have to be able to understand the ways of how things are done.
You got it, dude.
So let's look at this analogy. In every workplace, you're either a thermometer or you're a thermostat. I'm sure you're wondering, what do you mean by that? Let me break it down. A thermometer reflects the temperature. That means it reacts to the culture around it. But a thermostat, on the other hand, sets the temperature, but only after understanding the room. Now, you don't decode the culture by being a thermostat. You only try to be heating up a room that is not ready, and we obviously don't want that. Now, Paul, in this case, when he went to Athens, he wasn't a thermostat. He was a thermometer. He was decoding the culture. He was asking questions. He was listening. He was walking around. He was looking around. He even spoke their language. So Paul decoded the culture before he delivered. You know that phrase that we think is a Christian, like is a hymnal phrase or something. In him we live, we move, and have our being. That's a Greek poem from that city. And Paul used their own language to be able to preach the gospel. So he decoded their culture before he delivered. When you get into that workplace in your first 60 days, before you present, before you tell the story, before you bring up that idea, before you pitch that before you pitch the idea, or before you bring up something, anyways, pause. Ask yourself, am I reading the room? Am I decoding the culture? Have I understood how these people, how their ways of working are? You have to take that pause. So yes, take a step back, as I would usually say, and then reflect. First of all, try to understand the culture. Understanding the culture doesn't mean compromise. You're only applying wisdom and trying to be strategic in order to find your way around. So, before your next big idea, your next presentation or proposal, pause. Ask yourself, have I decoded the room? Do I know my audience? Do I understand their ways of working, how they speak, or their culture? Because even the best idea falls flat when they are not delivered in the right language. I'm pretty sure you don't want that. You don't have to change who you are, but you have to understand where you are. You decode the culture, then you deliver with clarity, conviction, and confidence. See you next week on No Spilling. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click on your notification button so that you get notified when we upload the next video. Or do you want to miss it? I guess not. So tell me in the comment section, what is that cultural shift that you've experienced, either in your first 60 days or even in a new, like something generally that's happened to you? What's that cultural shift that you've experienced? Let's keep building wisdom that works. See you. Bye.